Okay, so you're raising quail or chickens or some sort of egg-laying animal and either stopped laying eggs or just hasn't been laying eggs. What do we do? That's what we're talking about today. Hello everyone, I'm Chris from Rustic Rabbit and welcome back to the channel. Now if you're new to our channel, we give you the guidance it takes to raise your own meat, grow your own food, do all that in your backyard, and then we pull you inside. We take you to the kitchen. We demonstrate some recipes, we show you how to make that into some really awesome food. Okay, so whether you're new to raising poultry or some sort of egg-laying animal, or maybe you've been doing it for a while and you continue to have these issues where they'll stop laying. There's a few different things. You're gonna go to all these forums, you're gonna see the same kind of things come up again and again, but basically it's gonna be one of a handful of reasons. Okay, first of all, let's start with our species. Okay, because the species is going to determine the age at which they should start laying eggs. If you're laying chickens, it could be about 18 weeks, maybe longer. Bobwhite quail up to like 24 weeks. Okay, we raise Coturnix here. You can hear them. The Coturnix are closer to about 7 weeks. Now that doesn't mean you have 30 quail and then on the day the 7-week birthday comes, they're all laying eggs. You might get 1 or 2 that first day, and then a few days later go by and okay, now you have 4 or 5 eggs, and it takes time. But by and large, it's going to start right around 7 weeks. That's when they're going to start to lay eggs. Okay, they'll lay about 300 eggs a year for about the first 2 years. After that, we really don't keep them longer than that. We kind of cull them out as we continue to raise quail. We'll take the nice bigger ones they're growing fast, and we'll replace some of the ones that they've been in there a while, and before you know it, you're just kind of slowly refreshing your covey. So the next thing is gender. This might seem obvious, but maybe it's not. Females lay eggs, males do not. And you don't even need males to lay eggs. The females will still continue to lay no matter what, they just won't be fertilized. So side by side, it's pretty easy to tell for Coturnix. The breast feathers are gonna really help you distinguish between male and female. You just need to make sure you have females, because those are the only ones that lay eggs. Okay, like a lot of animals, it's sort of seasonal. It depends on what time of year, and really it's not necessarily the time of year, it's how much daylight do they have. So you can sort of artificially push that and extend the seasons, and I get year-round egg laying for my chickens and for my quail simply by providing some artificial lighting. You don't need a lot. Something like this will work. The LEDs, they're solar powered, so they charge in the day. They're up at night, and then the battery goes out, in the middle of the night. So basically, they need about 14 to 16 hours of light. That'll keep them laying. So the next thing is food and water, which obviously it sounds, yeah, of course, food and water. But a lot of times, like for my quail, instead of going out there and feeding them every day, I'll have these different contraptions that it's like a hopper, and I can put probably 4 or 5 days worth of food in there, and they eat it, and it'll constantly spill down, and they'll continue to eat. If for whatever reason they're overly messy, or I lose track of time, then it could be down towards the bottom and you don't even realize, like, oh whoops, they're getting low on food there. So if that happens, you'll know, because you'll just all of a sudden not have any eggs. You're like, oh man, I can't believe I let that happen. Same with the water. Okay, any kind of the nipples you buy, or the little cups, any of these types of things, they're great because they're cheap and they work really well. But they're not durable. They're not really, high quality, well made. I don't even think you can get them made in America. They're all made in China. So they come over, they don't work very well. They leak pretty easily. So whatever you need to buy twice that, because you're gonna have to constantly be replacing these things. And so if that's happening and you have a leak somewhere in your watering system, you may not know that, or you may not realize that until it's too late. And again, or in the winter, the water will freeze. And that's a whole different type of deal, but it's the same thing. It's frozen water, they can't drink it. So if water freezes and you can't get them drinkable water, they will stop laying eggs. You need food, you need water, they need it at all times. Okay, molting. This usually doesn't happen very often. It's like maybe once a year. You'll notice though, it looks like some sort of, predator got into your cage and like had its way with some of your animals. There's feathers everywhere, out of nowhere. And for a few days, your chickens or your quail or whatever it is, they'll stop laying eggs, because it's just, they've molted, they've got new feathers, and it takes a couple days for that to come back, for them to start laying right. Okay, the last thing is stress. They can get stressed a lot of ways, so this is a macroscopic way to describe it. But basically, if you relocate them, go from one cage to the next, that'll stress them out. If they have predators kind of lurking around, trying to get in, that'll stress them out. If they don't have enough space, you know, it's too many in a little cage, or too many males per female, that'll stress them out. They're very hardy birds. They can survive temperatures. They're all over the place, and they're great. But they get stressed pretty easy, and they'll go from, you know, laying 3 dozen eggs a day to like none. So check your food, check your water. Even for predators, you know, I found that, you know, I had plywood everywhere. There's no way anything could have gotten in, but then I was finding rat droppings inside the cage, and it's like, okay, I got to find out where it's getting in and out. Go get rat traps, all that kind of thing. So they can still get in there, and they're not eating your quail necessarily, but they're harassing them. So anything that's going to bother them will stress them out. Okay guys, so hopefully that was helpful for you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Happy to answer them. You know, taking notes as I go through this. It's been a few years now, I've gotten the hang of it. Still learning stuff every day. So if you have any questions, leave it below. Really appreciate you guys subscribing, and God bless.